What's up, guys? We're gonna go camping in the National Forest, and this video is dedicated to my friend Brian. Dude, thank you so much. He sent me a really cool Evo gimbal. Man, the smoke's following me. And I've been practicing filming on that all day. I don't have a lot of equipment, so super grateful to have it. And man, thank you so much. Welcome to the National Forest. This is the best campsite I could find, given the time of day and the fact that everything's kind of taken on this road. I didn't want to double back too far because we are losing daylight and starting to get chilly, and I kind of want to set up camp and gather some firewood. But we got a pretty good spot, man. I mean, there's no other campsites around us except right across the street, and you got to kind of travel in on this road a little bit, so the guys are actually right behind that hill that are camping on that side. So the only thing we're really going to have to deal with is a little bit of road noise, but not that big a deal. And we got a nice campsite that's already made. Shiloh's got some trees to hook up to. I'd love to let him run loose, but the problem is he's gonna try and run across that road, and next thing you know, he'll be in the neighbor's camp. So he's still a little too young to trust him at large in the forest. So I'm gonna put up the camera and we're gonna set up camp and get this fire going. So what I'm doing, there are times when I like to car camp, like literally car camp, as opposed to putting up the tent. Today is one of those days. So I can convert my SUV into a camper. What I do is I take out the backside seat, the one that's big enough to fit the passenger and the middle person, take that out, and it gives me enough room for my feet all the way end to end. If I don't take it out, I can lay diagonally, and that works too. But yeah, so generally when I'm car camping, I'll just take everything out and get a general setup for the bed, and then I fit the food and the water and whatever else needs to stay in the car back in there. Super convenient, and it's really fun because you can just kind of roll whenever you're ready and you don't have to break down camp. So, love that. So you can see I've got it to where I can just real easily take the seat out, and that adds, oh man, probably a good 1.5 feet. People keep driving up to that campsite right across from me, and they don't know that there's already people back there. I see the guys in the purple truck are doubling back right now. That's gonna happen all night long. So here's a little tip. When you're camping in these kind of places, if you're in a pullout where your camp is farther back and people can't see it from the road, what you do is you drag a log out or stack some stones or something. You just got to put something in the driveway to let people know, hey, we've got camp back there and there's no other spaces. It's a great way to keep like just the noise, and people will see it and they'll pass by. Man, these guys in the purple truck are having a tough time. They've pulled in here, went back, doubled back, just spun around and kicked back that way. It's annoying. What's annoying is the way they're driving their vehicle. I mean, they are loud. They're basically cutting donuts in the dirt and kicking up the back wheels, and it's bringing all this dust in. I almost forgot I had this thing. I found this at a thrift store for like $2. Shiloh's going crazy. You want to run, don't you, buddy? I found this Thermarest Ridgecrest. It's like probably 20 years old, at a thrift store for like, I think it literally was like $2 or something. It was something crazy. But these, if you buy them brand new, are a really expensive piece. I mean, these can be like upwards of $100 nowadays. So I don't really use it for much except padding the inside of the car. Didn't I tell you? There's shells everywhere out here. Between that and trash, it's part of what makes me not like the gun-toting guys that come out here. I mean, if you're gonna come out and shoot, I think that's cool, but pick up your trash, man. Like, these shells aren't going anywhere for a really long time. And they're everywhere, man. I've been in campsites where they're just like littered all around. It's kind of disheartening, but I've actually thought about putting together a group of people to just come out and clean the campsites up. I think that'd be a fun project. Boom, so that's it, man. I'm gonna get the chairs out of the Yakima box, and that's the deal. Usually, you know, like this is the first trip of the season, so I'm not quite prepared. There's a few things that are still in my car that I would normally take out, but so like, you know, actually I'll probably leave that seat out. I'll probably find somewhere to put it in storage or at a friend's house and just leave it out for the rest of the summer, because then there's literally no setup. You just flip the seat down, throw your bed in, and then all the camp stuff can go on the left-hand side. I think it's super legit. And the plastic thing, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe I'll leave it in, maybe I'll take it out, but I do like that it keeps all the crap out of the back of my ride. Back, baby. No pun intended, but I made a video on this like a year ago, and I got held to the fire over this saw. I said it was the best, what did I say, the best camping saw for cutting firewood? It is, man. I paid like $4 for this thing at Walmart. Maybe it was, I don't know, it was under 10 for sure. And I've had it for forever, and here I am again, another season using it. There's the guns I was talking about. Ought to be a peaceful camp. I don't mind it. I just, it disturbs the peace so much, you know? It's the one reservation I have with camping out here. And then on the other hand, kind of makes me want to go buy a gun. I think I will this summer. Just because if they've got them, I should have one. Dude. Trying to take my stick. Trying to get my stick, man. Yeah, that's enough. So this is like the easiest way to build a really hot, quick bonfire, and it basically creates a center of coals that gets really hot and the flames shoot straight up through the top. It's just a simple TP fire. What I do is take a big wad of tinder, whatever tinder works for your environment. Here it's like super easy to find all these dead pine needle trees, and I feel like that works pretty good. All the wood in Colorado is pretty dry most of the time. The only time I've ever even come close to having a problem was in the spring during a rainstorm. So it really depends on where you are, what works for tinder on this. But then I'll take small to medium twigs and make a teepee all around it. And then once that burns down and makes some coals, we'll make another teepee with the medium-sized logs. That will basically get a hot underbelly of coals going. Decent fire that will end at the end of the night, right about when it gets dark. And then if you want to push it further, like, I don't know, a midnight campfire or 1 a.m. or something, then that's where I would want to get one of these bigger chunks and just let it mow on it for a while. So here we go. just gonna take like 20-30 seconds for it to start lighting up through the middle. This is one of those camp trips where I have, let's see, what's the right way to put this? Limited places to put my positive attention, or should I say, there's a smaller number of things because the stuff that bothers me, like the shooting and kind of the breaking of the silence, but there's a massive advantage of the National Forest, which is, generally speaking, unless there's a fire ban, you can do whatever you want when it comes to fires. You just got to be smart and, you know, follow the rules. And I always follow dead out, you know, water over all the coals, and I don't leave camp until it's completely put out. I also pay a lot of attention to what's above me. Pine trees, especially if they're dead, can catch fire in no time. As long as you follow the rules, it'll be fine. The National Forest is my definite favorite place to make a raging fire, next to the desert at night. The desert at night's really cool because the fire's like accented against the purple sunset, or whatever the color of the sunset is when it's going down. But the National Forest is cool too, because if you make a big bonfire, it always reminds me of being a kid and like Robin Hood. You know, I've said that in a couple of videos, but these forests, when you get a campfire and stacks of logs and like a hunter's campfire, I don't know, there's something fun about that. I like it. One thing I try to do with every campsite in the National Forest, because they're usually in such bad shape, and I think it's like good karma for the forest, I just try to leave the site looking better, or with like an enhancement that doesn't do any damage, than when I found it. So I think with this one, I'm just going to kind of clean up the general camp area and make it a little more friendly. So, what I'm making for dinner, I've got a sweet potato in foil, and then I got some Brussels sprouts in here. Funny thing about the Brussels sprouts, they were frozen, which actually made them kind of like my ice pack for the day. So yeah, I just got some coconut oil, whole thing of Brussels sprouts, put some salt and pepper on it. I like really simple, basic tastes. I don't use a lot of spices anymore except for salt and pepper, especially when I go camping, just because it's so universal, and the pepper warms you up, the black pepper does, and the salt provides some minerals with it just makes you feel really nice. It's a nice combination. I decided to take a little walk away from camp. I think as soon as it gets dark, I'm pretty tired, so I'm probably going to turn in and get up and watch the sunrise instead, or hopefully wake up early. But I'm not going to put a timetable on it, just going to do whatever feels right. It's so cool out here. The coolest. Can you hear the music in the distance? That's crazy. I couldn't hear it that loud from camp, but walking up this side of this hill, I got about halfway up here, and now I can hear it perfectly. We're right next to a little mini ridge. maybe tomorrow morning we'll hike up the top of this one, right behind camp. There's the sun going down. Wow. But tomorrow morning, the sun's gonna come up over here. Beautiful. And I bet we hike up to the top of that, and then we're gonna have a righteous sunrise view right here. Wow. It almost looks like something right there. I wonder if that's the moon. I love the purples and the blues. Oh, was the moon. And that showed up fast, didn't it? Gray. Shadow's probably bugging out right now. Wow, there's still snow over there. Awesome. This is why I should never just wander off into the woods. I have a tendency to just keep going. Man. Better get back and check on Shiloh. I don't want him to be too... Look at this. Little desert cactus. Looks like it kind of looks like it's in bloom, but those are little cactus pieces on top. How crazy. I think cactuses are alien, man. So alien. There's so much dead wood. Just half burned trees. Like that one, but the top is still alive. Nutty. This is a nutty forest, weird forest. Like, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but the base of all those trees are just burned black. This must have been where it ended whenever the rain came or whatever put it out. Welcome back to man camp. Look at you, you little Egyptian dog. Just chilling. Just chilling by the fire. That's the cutest thing I have ever seen. Dear God. So Shiloh and I are gonna chill by this fire and enjoy the rest of the night, and then I'll catch up with you in the morning. Gonna shoot for that sunrise.